Hey Cosy Souls, welcome back to the channel where we wrap ourselves in soft stories, soulful scenes, and the kind of movies that leave you feeling a little more human. Today I'm sharing a few hidden gem movies that made me feel warm, seen, and quietly uplifted, and I want to start with one that lives rent-free in my heart. The Legend of Johnny Lingo. This movie isn't loud, it doesn't have explosions or superheroes, but what it does have is heart. So much heart. It's set against a stunning backdrop of the South Pacific. This film is an adventure, yes, but it's also about belonging, about self-worth, about kindness, and the unseen threads of love that guide us home. It is inspired by Maori and Polynesian culture, and the setting alone feels like being gently hugged by the ocean breeze. There's something soul-healing about the way this movie blends island traditions, lush scenery, and a journey of inner transformation. You follow the story of a boy named Tama, who's orphaned, ridiculed, and tossed aside. But through resilience and quiet strength, he becomes a man of honor, someone whose worth isn't just given, but chosen. And when you find out who Johnny Lingo truly is, I promise your heart will do a little somersault. It's the kind of story that makes you want to believe in the good again, in people, and in second chances. There's something soul-healing about the way this movie blends island traditions, lush scenery, and a journey of inner transformation. You follow the story of a boy named Tama, who's orphaned, ridiculed, and tossed aside. But through resilience and quiet strength, he becomes a man of honor, someone whose worth isn't just given, but chosen. And when you find out who Johnny Lingo truly is, I promise your heart will do a little somersault. It's the kind of story that makes you want to believe in the good again, in people, and in second chances. Now for the second hidden gem that fills my heart with warmth and wonder. Let's talk about Frida. Yes, the stunning 2002 film about the life of Frida Kahlo, brought to vivid life by the incredible Salma Hayek. This film is a visual poem. It's rich in colour, dripping with soul, and bursting with creative fire. Frida's life wasn't easy, far from it. But the way this film portrays her pain, her love, her defiance, it's so human, so powerful, and so strangely comforting. There's something incredibly uplifting in watching a woman embrace her identity unapologetically. Frida creates art out of agony. She turns heartbreak into brushstrokes, and through it all, she lives, loudly, passionately, authentically. The celebration of Mexican culture in this movie is just breathtaking. The music, the textures, the surreal moments where Frida's paintings come to life, it all feels like stepping into her world, into her mind. And even though it's a biopic, it never feels cold or distant. It's warm, it's intimate. It wraps around you like a hand-painted shawl and whispers, "Feel everything, be bold anyway." Frida is more than just a movie. It's a reminder that beauty and pain can live side by side. And that's what I love about hidden gems like this. They don't just entertain you, they change you. They leave fingerprints on your heart. Stay with me because the next hidden gem on my list might just become your new comfort film. The next hidden gem I want to share with you might surprise you. It's a Japanese animated film called Colorful, and it's unlike anything I've ever seen. It's gentle, it's haunting, and it stayed with me long after the credits rolled. Colorful tells the story of a soul who is given a second chance, reincarnated into the body of a boy who has just died by suicide. He's told he must live in the boy's shoes and uncover the truth about his life, before deciding whether he deserves to stay in the world. Heavy? Yes. but also so full of grace. There's something deeply comforting about this film's message, that even in our darkest, messiest moments, life can offer us colour again, that healing isn't linear, and that forgiveness of others and of ourselves is part of what makes life beautiful. What makes Colourful so cozy for me is its honesty. It doesn't sugarcoat life. It doesn't rush to resolution. Instead, it lingers in the quiet moments. A train ride, a family dinner, the flicker of resentment or hope in someone's eyes. It makes you notice the details we usually overlook. And it whispers that every choice, every mistake, every kindness matters. Even the animation reflects this soft, understated, yet incredibly moving. The colours shift as the soul inside the boy begins to see life differently, and you start to see it too. Colourful is a meditation on life's duality, the pain and the pleasure, the shame and the joy, and ultimately, it's about what it means to choose life again, to be present, to keep going, even when it's hard. It's not loud, it's not flashy, but it's powerful in that quiet, soul deep way that only truly special films are. If you're someone who's ever felt like giving up, or like you didn't belong, watch Colourful. Let it remind you that you are not alone, that your story isn't over, and that maybe, just maybe, the world still holds colours you've yet to see. Okay, this next one might sound a little unhinged at first, but trust me when I say, it's one of the most tender, quietly magical and soul-healing films I've ever watched. Let's talk about Lars and the Real Girl. So here's the premise. Lars, a deeply shy and emotionally shut-off young man, orders a life-sized doll online and introduces her to his family as his girlfriend. Yeah, you heard that right. But instead of mocking him or forcing him to snap out of it, his small-town community does something extraordinary. They go along with it. They treat Bianca, the doll, with dignity and kindness. And through this surreal little performance, Lars slowly begins to heal. The film is weird, but the kind of weird that's soaked in love. It's not about the doll at all. It's about loneliness. It's about grief, mental health, and the incredible things people can do when they choose compassion over judgment. The pacing is slow, deliberate, the colours muted, and the entire film films like a warm flannel blanket on a cold day, a little worn, but full of love. You'll laugh, yes, you might even cringe a little, but by the end, you'll also cry. Not out of sadness, but because you just witnessed something genuinely kind. Ryan Gosling's performance is so quiet, so subtle, and it never tries too hard. Just like the movie itself, Lars doesn't shout, he whispers. He fumbles his way through connection, and in doing so, he reminds us that healing doesn't always look the way we expect it to. Sometimes it's awkward, sometimes it's strange, but it can still be beautiful. Lars and the Real Girl isn't flashy. It's soft, a little odd, and overflowing with humanity. It's a story about choosing love even when it doesn't make sense. And I think that's exactly what the world needs more of. Alright, I'm ending this list with something a little unexpected, something totally unhinged, but in the best, most delightful way. Let's talk about Bubble Boy. Yes, that movie, the one from 2001 where a boy with no immune system lives in a plastic bubble and then builds a portable bubble suit to chase after the love of his life. Sounds like pure chaos, right? And it is. But it's also kind of, well, beautiful. Bubble Boy is loud, ridiculous, and often absurd, but at its core, it's about something deeply relatable. Leaving your bubble, facing the unknown, and doing something completely terrifying for the sake of love. Jimmy, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, has lived a sheltered, sterile life, literally and emotionally. But when he finds out the girl next door is marrying someone else, he goes for it. He builds his own bubble suit and hits the road. What follows is a wild, hilarious, unpredictable road trip full of misfits, cults, biker gangs and circus freaks. And somehow, through all this absurdity, you find yourself cheering him on, not just because he wants love, but because he's finally living. There's something kind of poetic buried in all the stillness. It's about finding courage in unlikely places, about rejecting fear even when you've been raised on it, and about realizing that maybe, just maybe, you are stronger than you think. And even though this movie leans into comedy and camp, there's a warmth running underneath it, a childlike sincerity and kind of emotional honesty that's rare in films that are this off the wall. It doesn't try to be deep, but in a way, that's exactly why it is. So, there you have it. 5 hidden gem movies that might not be perfect, but they are full of heart. Films that made me laugh, cry, reflect, and most importantly, feel. From island legends and surreal self-discovery to painted truths, awkward healing and love in a bubble. These stories reminded me that being human is messy and beautiful. If you're ever feeling a little lost, or you just need a cinematic hug from something genuine and unexpected, give these a try. This has been another cozy deep dive from Cosy Souls. If you enjoyed this list, don't forget to like, subscribe and share your own hidden gem in the comments. I'd love to hear what movies you turn to when your soul needs a little warmth. Until next time, stay soft, stay curious, and never underestimate the power of a weird little film with a big heart.